So much has happened across this show. So many things have spanned the grapevine of this tapestry. The best and the worst of it to be shown. Shall we go over the amazing lore of this insane world? It would surely be of importance. It started long ago, when Sun and Moon had separated their bodies from one another with the help of none other than Montgomery Gator. He had helped them acquire a new body and, well, things went from there. Months later, Sun would be taking care of a few children in the daycare, a casual day for him and Moon. That was until things got violent. Fazbear cleaned it all up. Everything ended up being fine, but Sun was forever scarred because of it. And Blood Moon, well, he left Sun's body and floated around for the longest time, trying his best to pull himself back together. At some point, after many awkward nights, I brought up the idea to Moon that we could try growing closer as a family, and thought the idea of starting a YouTube channel, the one you're on right now. We played games, had fun with friends, and the whole shebang! That was, well...
That was until Sun started to act irrationally angry at random points during video recordings, and even taking care of children, most notably Gregory. It wouldn't be until months later that the reason why Sun started to act strange and stranger was because of some code that the original Moon left behind. It formatted into
Eclipse, an entity left behind by the original Moon in sight of Sun. He had formed his own consciousness and began to plan for a way to escape and wreak havoc on those who had wronged him. It was he who had made Blood Moon the actual killers of July 16th. For a while, things were stuck in a standstill, one side unable to get the hand over the other. Blood Moon had been well forgotten by Eclipse at this point, and instead he had made another grand design.
Me! He made me, in which I took over Moon at times to help keep him in check or something. Because it's really weird about stuff. Anyway, after being put inside a Moon, Eclipse started initiating his plan to rewrite the universe into his image of perfection with a weapon called the Star.
the Newton Star, or the Star for short, was a tool devised by the original Moon to fix everything that he deemed too dangerous to rewrite DNA, to undo a piece of time, and change history itself. However, if it fell into the hands of the wrong person, it's unimaginable the kind of chaos that could be made with it.
Phillips initiated his plan. He locked me in his head and had Lunar put Moon away. I was tortured for the whole month of October. It wasn't the best day for me, but we should be thankful, because if it wasn't for Monty, we'd never—
These two would be dead! I took the star, hid it away, and tried finding out ways to destroy it. Nothing came of it, though, unfortunately. It was during the whole month of October that, while I was trying to get rid of the star, Luna was busy dealing with Eclipse.
He always took me away whenever I was from whatever I was doing and kept trying to fix something. I never really understood what he was doing. I got tired of it in Eclipse. Well, wasn't happy about that. Soon enough, I went to Monty and talked. He actually treated me like a family. Like I mattered. Like I wasn't his sidekick. So we talked and talked and talked. Eventually, I allowed Monty into my head so we could finally talk to Moon.
And so they came up with a plan to kill Eclipse, or at least push him away. Lunar was more than willing to return Moon's body back, but the issue was Eclipse himself. He would never willingly just let Sun take it all back after all. So we had to trick Eclipse to let Lunar connect to him so he could talk, and then Moon taught him magic.
I feel like we skipped over a part of this.
The magic thing doesn't matter that much.
It literally is the reason we got out.
So a while ago, the original Moon learned magic. Are you happy?
Happy as can be.
Sun then practiced a bit. We set out our own plan into motion.
Before that, though, we needed to make sure Eclipse's defenses were down. And there was no way in hell any of us were going to take him head-to-head since he upgraded the daycare's defenses. So I had to do something I completely regret now.
He made Blood Moon, at least the original body, A while ago, a red mass of anger and hatred had formed itself into the ball pit, swiftly running out and trying to cause mischief. But imagine trying to kill anything while being that small. It was impossible. So Montgomery Gator did the next best thing and pitted the two titans against one another. They fought, and during that, Sun was able to pull Eclipse in with magic, and then cast him out of his body. We had won. I almost got killed by Blood Moon, but he was a problem for another day, you know? We celebrated. We celebrated the coming of Lunar, another addition to our little family. We were happy for a while.
Happy? The other moon was going around trying to destroy or deactivate all the backups Eclipse made for himself, damn near pushing himself into the grave and getting himself more and more angry. And angrier. And angrier.
Pretty sure that was one of the reasons for what happened next.
Kill Code, the smallest remnants of the original virus that had infected Moon's mind, had remained, repairing itself ever so slowly until itself had become sentient. It toyed with Moon's mind, ever so much to the point where Moon's ravenous murder tendencies returned.
You see, at the time, I was still in Moon's head, so a lot of stuff started to change around the place.
Really not have any other purpose than
I was held hostage. Almost killed multiple times. I got through it.
Thanks to me learning some magic myself, I was able to get into Moon's head and, acquaint myself with its new owner. After a bunch of missteps, I was able to get Lunar out of there and talk to Moon myself for a bit. I wasn't able to help Moon, but we talked.
Sometime later, Eclipse had returned, but not in the ways that we had thought of. He had uploaded himself into Blood Moon's skull and used him as a sort of vessel, but Blood Moon wasn't having any of it, using Eclipse as a sort of assistance more than not.
From what I see, the original Moon had formed a sort of deal with Killcode to operate his body on his own time. During that, Killcode recruited Blood Moon and Eclipse into a little bag of friendship. The three would form a pair, Killcode being the mastermind, Blood Moon being the muscle, and Eclipse being the brains. Eclipse would be uploaded into a computer to handle things at their little headquarters. And eventually, Eclipse would make an obedient robot called Solar Flare.
But almost immediately afterwards, Sun spiraled so bad that he killed Blood Moon, and almost goes into a brutal murderous rampage. More or less guessing where in the world the bad guys are held at.
The other moon was soon approached by Eclipse, and the two talked about how he wanted to kill Killcode and get rid of a bigger threat. Moon, in his infinite wisdom, agreed to the plan. I wonder what would have happened if he said no. I wonder, did Eclipse plan it from the start?
During this whole thing, Eclipse started to roll out his little plan. Eclipse loathed the lack of his body and opted to make a fake facade, importing himself slowly into this new trash heap of solar flare. However, he, of course, had to ensure no one grew suspicious, so he gave this robot life in the most basic of senses.
He'd take over Solar Flare fully, pushing him into the back of his own head while you took charge.
Eventually, the old moon trapped Sun in an invisible barrier of sorts while he tried to get the kill code out of his head. With the deal that he made with Eclipse earlier, that led to a lot of issues.
During all of that, Killcode had a change of heart. Seemingly overnight thanks to Glamrock Freddy. I know, it's surprising, the man talking to someone. Ha! Anyways, Sun is able to escape his little glass prison with his angry use of magic and continue on his little path of conquest, all while Moon is stuck inside his own head trying to get Killcode out.
I made a mistake. I thought if I got rid of the others by any means necessary, that means we could have a good future, a better future. But I blew up the place. The one place where Moon had put down a circle that connected him to magic and vice versa. I thought it would have killed Eclipse, but it didn't. He managed to survive, barely. I blew it up and Moon
Was stuck in his own head, unable to escape, with Killcode stuck in the driver's seat.
When all was said and done, Sun was a babbling baby on the side of the road, while Eclipse scolded him for his sheer stupidity. So he begged for the Golden Freddy, the same person who had taught Moon magic to begin with, and he tried to make the same circles. That was until he saw a thing from the past. Blood Moon. My memories of him kept distracting me, angering me, telling me things, and I failed to properly put down the circle. If I had done it right, Moon would still be alive, still be able to use magic still, and pull himself out to kill Killcoat. But I failed. I was at my lowest point, the lowest I had ever been. I sentenced Moon to his death. That's when a surprise turned up.
Me! I came along and helped Sun, just helping him along, trying to calm him down so he could talk to me. It was quite a harrowing story, to be honest, but I was always going to be there to comfort them. To be honest, I got really lost, and I was lucky I found Sun.
Killcoat had met the Creator again. The two shared some words. The Creator disappointed in the fact that Killcoat himself dare not live up to his name. This only made Killcoat hate himself more.
Eventually, I met the poor man, and I think I convinced him that it was best to talk to Moon. It was a weird exchange and experience.
Killcoat had entered back in Moon's body, and the two talked. Moon didn't want to kill a guy who was trying to change, but Killcoat didn't want to die either. It was a strange conundrum. Moon opted to take a chance and help Killcoat get out, but he died in the process. It reset everything in his systems. No memory, no knowledge, nothing except Fazbear recipes and scriptures. Not fun to only know how to make pizzas.
This all happened at the worst of times, because while they dealt with that, Eclipse had been busy putting his plans into motion. You see, I still had possession of the star, the one object Eclipse wanted so badly. And with the Celestial Twitch stuck fixing their own issues, they left him alone to clean house, to make a deal and bargain.
Eclipse found me, held me in place, and he readied me to explode if Monty didn't give him the star.
I didn't want Lunar to die.
No.
I didn't want to give the star to Eclipse.
Stay here.
I had to make a tough choice, but I chose Lunar. Not like it mattered, though.
With the star in hand, Eclipse had won. He changed his look. He went to Lunar and blew him up in front of Monty, despite agreeing to the deal. Thankfully, the smallest nanomachine lived from Lunar, and Monty immediately started working on repairs.
We had no time to prepare for Eclipse. No time at all. I just woke up and was getting my bearings in order. Then Eclipse decided to welcome me warmly to the world, have everyone think that Sun and I were the ones to do all the horrible things Eclipse did.
Those months were not the greatest. He changed his mind, changed it from fixing the universe to toying with me and Moon.
He put us through a lot of different hells. Backrooms, sending us different dimensions, all of it. But we survived.
In no manner of speaking, the group was able to give Killcoat his own body, and he went away to atone for the sins that he had committed. All the while Sun and Moon suffered at the hands of Eclipse.
That was until someone showed up.
Me? I showed up. I was from another dimension, one where the Creator had unleashed a virus that changed the personalities of all animatronics touched by it. I was not the most pleasant of people, but I was a minor threat compared to the overlooming thing above them.
We had to deal with Eclipse first, before we dealt with Ruin. We were able to corner him into one of the rooms of Fazcade, but someone let him out. Whatever.
Eclipse approached me, trying to talk to me about something. I honestly don't remember, but I do remember telling him that he could change and that he doesn't have to be this way. But he never seemed to care. No matter what I said or did, he didn't want to hear the words. It was like he was slowly going insane.
I, on the other hand, was working myself to the bone. Whenever I stopped, I saw him. Again and again. Always talking down to me, making it worse. Always Blood Moon. And the original Moon.
And I soon found out about this. On top of Sun practicing star power himself, I got angry. I blew up. Wasn't smart, but it's what happened. I know I couldn't be angry at him for long, and Earth helped us with some therapy. The calm before the storm.
Eclipse showed up one day, just randomly, and we initiated our own plan. I threw a blast at him, so powerful it launched him into our dimensional portal, and
Oh, son! Don't you think you're skipping a couple of steps there, buddy?
Moon built a dimensional portal at some point. Wasn't that relevant to the story, to be honest.
It is now!
I get it.
Anyways, Eclipse was launched into another dimension. A dimension in which I prepared to destroy him with the help of none other than the other Eclipse, who is now called Solar. He's practically family now. But I locked him into a small glass dome, his star power useless to him because he was in another dimension, and I blew him up. Nothing besides, nothing behind remained, and the star died with him.
We're both dead.
I guess we should have tried destroying it in another dimension first.
Though I was damaged, we won. Thankfully. For now, at least.
Sun got repaired, daycare was fixed. Yay! But it really did not stay that way for long because, oh my god, we cannot catch a break.
Before anything bad happened, I heard the news and immediately went back up into space, where I was fixing Lunar and...
You didn't mention it before. I am a part of the joke.
I have a space station. Anyways, I fixed Lunar up and brought him back.
It was dark.
Well, to be more specific, it was Puppet that brought Lunar back. But the family was brought back together and nothing bad would happen ever again. Right?
I know what you're about to say. Yes, we could have probably killed Ruin, but we couldn't because we believed that his actual consciousness lay underneath everything.
And it did. But everything that happened afterwards, I am truly sorry for. Except Frank, I had nothing to do with that one.
Do not mention him!
It was calm. Nothing dangerous was going on. Everything continued as normal. But things did not last too long after that, for I had created something horrendous. Blood Moon. I don't remember how I did it, what tools I used, and how I made my own schematics. I don't remember at all. But I had brought him back and caught him up to speed with what has happened, with what he was. And he was bent on revenge. I moved in at some point, trying to get away from my own dimension and move in with a better form of family. But I didn't last long either, for Ruin and Blood Moon quickly moved in and took over the place with the explosive of the Stitch Wraith. It was horrible trying to live there. While Solar dealt with Blood Moon and Ruin, me and Moon were trapped in another dimension, Ruin's original dimension. We were stuck with no way out and had to look through so many consequences of using the star. It was awful. But we managed to find a cure to the virus while we were there. The virus had corrupted the animatronics. We found a cure and we intended to use it on Ruin.
We got through it, though. And with Solar's help, we were able to come back. Imagine our surprise when we saw one of the people who got us killed by his side.
While trying to find out how to get Sun and Moon back, I had managed to convince Blood Moon to team up with us, at least long enough to kill Ruin, and then we can reclaim what was taken from us. A sort of battle ensued from Moon, myself and Ruin. I was pinned to a corner at some point, and Ruin threatened to break me. Moon swiftly moved in and uploaded the cure into Ruin, freeing him of the curse. It was liberating. My eyes slowly opened to the world that I had created, a world that I am ultimately to blame. I am still terribly sorry, my friends. We know.
And it was actually peaceful for a bit longer.
Until Blood Moon tried to kill you.
Right.
Moon and I decided that we should bite this in the butt and get rid of this Blood Moon. So we went to his base and we found out that he's being helped by someone. No one we know yet. And I damaged Blood Moon. I tried to talk to him too, but much like his original character, he's too stubborn to change.
Shadow. Even ever since then, we've been trying to search for him. But now we know that he's fought the Stitch Wraith and our sister. Earth is I'm sorry, Monty. Shouldn't have yelled at you like that. It's not like you knew he was gonna go after Earth.
I know.
I think that catches us up to speed.
This is the most convoluted stuff I've ever heard in my life, and we only grazed over it. There's so much more stuff that happened.
Not as important. I mean, we would want to hear us talk about Wally from Welcome Home.
Fair enough.
Well, guys, hope this caught you all up to speed. We appreciate you. And remember to leave a like on the video. See you next year.